Doing? Man. Good morning, everybody. It's 3:09 a.m. I've been up for a couple hours. It's 3:09 a.m. And it's like really just really so many questions, man. So many damn questions here. You know, wasteful spending on stupid shit. I can't title that on my video here because YouTube would YouTube would definitely remove the video over the title. Idiot spending your tax dollars on stupid shit. So I put crap. You know, I mean, it is. I mean, it's a fact. You know, we got these three-piece suit wearing bureaucrats with the gold tooth wearing a red and blue tie, spending your tax dollars on stupid fucking shit. Yeah, yeah. they're wasting they're wasting your tax dollars on stupid fucking programs. They're spending your tax dollars on stupid fucking programs. Yeah. Dumb ass programs. Complete waste. You know, I'm watching Richie from Boston. I'm watching this is
Google just crossed a line no one thought they would, quietly erasing their promise never to build AI for weapons or surveillance. With billions pouring into AI, military deals in the shadows, and a global arms race accelerating, we might be watching the most dangerous shift in technology history unfold right now. Let's rewind for a second. Back in 2018, Google published this big list of AI principles right after the whole controversy with Project Maven, which was a Department of Defense program that used AI to analyze drone footage. A bunch of Google employees protested, saying they didn't want their work to contribute to weapons that might harm people. In fact, some employees resigned, and thousands signed up.
Do you remember the episode of Big Bang Theory where that one guy invented something and he was proud of himself? And he said, I don't want it to become a weapon. And it was an Air Force general. He said, I really don't give a shit what you want. We don't care. I don't care what you want. You know, because any inventor knows that their invention will unfortunately become a weapon. And these tech companies are kissing the ass of Uncle Sam. If they want a weapon, they will go to you, the tech company, and they'll tell you, we like what we see. And they want it, and they want to make it a weapon. They want it to become a weapon against a population. And they don't give a shit who it terrifies, who it upsets. They don't care. They just want they just want it to make it a weapon. Because they love weapons. They love to arm themselves against the population. Yeah. They want to create weapons of war against the population. Right? They want to, and Because to them, peace isn't profitable. Why? Peace can be profitable. Just don't start another war. Well, we need dead bodies. We need dead soldiers. Well, we need people to breed to give us soldiers so they could die on the battlefield for their honor. No, they want them to die on a battlefield for rich guys. Because more dead bodies, the more rich they become. Steve Earle did a song called A Rich Man's War. Top it up. Steve Earle, Rich Man's War. See, the rich men don't care about you. They only care about their own interest. They only care about what they could do to make this world theirs. And you suffer for it. To them, you're just collateral. You're nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. You're nothing to them. You're nothing to anybody. And why is that? Because they don't care about your life. They care about only their lives. They only care about of what they can achieve. What can they achieve by making you think it's best for our way of life? And only our way of life. See, most of them are xenophobes. They're racist. They're homophobe. They're all kind of things in one big fucking bubble. You know. One big bubble. And they don't care who it bothers. They don't care who it fucking hurts. They don't care who gets upset. They don't care. It's same. They have the same mentality in these tech companies. For example, Mark Zuckerberg. People like Google. They have the same mindset as these military guys, right? See, Google thinks of itself as a military contractor. Yeah. Google sees itself as a military contractor that can produce something for the military. You know. Military needs some good weapons, and they need surveillance on the enemy. They need AI. They need AI to spy on the enemy before they get to us. They fear we gotta get to them before they get to us. We gotta get to Russia before they get to us. Now here's the thing. We've been hitting Russia hard, economically, right? As every country spies on each other, you know. Mossad spies on us. We spy on Mossad. Mossad spies on MI6. MI6 spies on us. Like the whole thing, it's like one big, you know, and so they got these dumb fucks in DC saying we gotta go after so and so because he's gonna use weapons of mass delusion. The weapons of mass delusion. You know. And You think about all this bullshit, you know. John McAfee, smart guy, they went to him for help. And he installed McAfee antivirus software on government computers across the board. And it gave him access to what they had on him. Right? The guy wasn't stupid. You know. And they killed him for that. They killed John McAfee. And he was his tech guy, man. He created this antivirus software and stuff. So, and he was a big threat to the company Kaspersky. It's a Russian antivirus company, and he was making millions, and he sold his company just to and he made billions off that. Retired. I would have done the same damn thing. And they put him in prison and then took him out because of what he knew. To the assholes in D.C., John McAfee was the guy that pretty much telling things that nobody thought they would hear, you know, and stuff. So he was talking about one of the phones that Samsung had, Samsung Galaxy S7. I got it. I got one. I even have a Galaxy S9. You know. Do you know that Macron has a Galaxy S7 that's been modified? Yeah. Been modified. A lot of these world leaders have these devices that have been modified, man. And seriously modified. And yeah. Every truth comes out a little bit at a time. You know, you see it in movies, you see it in comic books, you see all the different mediations. You know, movies, TV, comic books, games. You know. Now, you know that. I mean, you know damn well. We all know damn well that these tech companies in Silicon Valley, saying Apple, Facebook, Google, they're all working together. You know, I haven't used my iPhone in about, I would say, Two years. Yeah. I haven't used my iPhone in 2 years. I bought it 3 years ago. In 2022. And I use it for this. And that's all I use it for. The phone I use, this is my Google Pixel 6a with the Graphene OS. And yeah. And these tech companies are, looking into AI. Apple's done it. Google's doing it. Facebook might do it. Well, Facebook is doing it. But the episode in The Big Bang Theory is that, and I remember this because I saw it, and I could look on the face of the character, the same kind of face that any inventor has, and that's the fear of seeing their invention, right? Seeing their invention they created becoming a weapon. You have inventors, right? Inventors wanting to invent something for good. But it's okay to invent something for war, but anything for humanity is like, oh, go fuck yourself, dude. Ain't gonna happen, For example, Stanley Meyer, he created a water fuel cell, and he was thinking conservationally, he was thinking conservationally, um, so he took a Volkswagen engine, and he converted it to like he wanted to create this water fuel cell. He did on a dune buggy. And some investors came to him. How they came to know him is beyond me. And they took it for a spin. He took it for a spin, and it came out pretty good. Panned out. Gary Fogel, who created the Fogel carburetor. 24-year-old mechanic owned a 70 Galaxy with a 429 Cobra jet. He figured out how to get the car to run better. He created this carburetor, and he could go 200 miles and 200 miles back on a quarter of a tank. Right, on a quarter of a tank. And as pretty much anybody in the oil and gas industry would find that as a threat, right? If you fuck with your vehicle to run that way, you end up a target by the feds. And we all know the feds killed Gary Fogel and Stanley Meyer. Because, when you see these corporate cock jockeys, they have that fear of, we're going to lose billions. No, you're not. You're not going to lose money. Because a couple of people who figure things out on their own, and it works. It was testing around. You're not going to lose money, okay? Just that at the time they did not want any alternatives. Now, if Elon Musk came up with the EV years ago, he would have been killed by the oil and gas industry. And who would do it? The feds. The feds would pay not the feds, but the CIA. The feds would hire somebody to take him out. Yeah. Mercedes-Benz was planning to create a electric vehicle, right? So they were threatened. What happened then? If you challenge the status quo, you are a threat to them. You're a threat to them. Okay. Now, check this out. This is about AI is evil.
The petition because they felt the AI work they were doing was crossing an ethical red line. And Google then decided not to renew that Pentagon contract and made a public promise that they would not design or deploy AI for purposes like weapons or surveillance that violated internationally accepted norms. They were taking a stand. Well, as of February 2025, that promise is gone. Now, this announcement came on February 5th, 2025, when Google updated what they called their AI principles. In its new policy, Google basically says that it's still going to develop AI responsibly and in line with widely accepted principles of international law and human rights, but they've totally removed that specific commitment not to build AI for weapons or surveillance.
In the game Watch Dogs, there's a thing called a 10-year plan in the game. And they talk about robots on the street. They're already doing it. Okay, they got drones now, right? Drones now, all right. They created AI powered drones, right? Now, since November 18th, okay, since November 18th, okay. Now, we're already what? The 10th. The 10th, right? The 10th. Now the thing is, now when you think about all that shit. 10-year plan, right? They want to put robots on the streets, right? The military is already dealing with AI, creating autonomous tanks, autonomous choppers now, right? And they're creating a robotic soldier, right? There's a game that predicted this shit. Black Ops 2, right? You're playing a character and you're taking on a guy who's the most wanted guy in the world, who's Cortex D, you know. And in the game portion, you see people rise up and say Cortex D, you know, that shit, you know. But these are predictive programming, right? Predictive programming. They do it in movies. They do it in TV shows. They do it in video games. They do it in commercials too, right? In commercials. Predictive programming, folks, right? Now, your tax dollars are being spent on stupid shit, okay? Your tax dollars is being spent on stupid fucking shit, right? Okay. Now, I mentioned this. I mentioned this yesterday. Okay, yesterday morning. Right now we're at 3:30. It's almost 4. It's about 3:35. You think about, okay, what was the list that they used the money from the U.S. aid for, right? You know, the BBC, Politico, right? NPR, Associated Press got a huge chunk of change, right? It was either Politico or the AP that couldn't pay their employees, man, right? You know? So, one of the issues, right? One of the issues, okay? No, they're getting mad because the DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency, is looking into everything that was wasted. They say, oh, it's Trump's revenge. No, this is a reckoning, folks. This is a reckoning. Right? This is a reckoning. No, this is a reckoning. Yeah. Full blown a reckoning. Because you see the members of Congress gone to the Department of Education. You see Maxine Waters talking all tough and shit. That dumb broad, someone should recall that bitch. Someone in LA should get a petition together and recall that cunt, man. Recall her, dude. Shit, man. What has she done? Not a goddamn thing. She's GQing while people in LA are paupers, man. You know, here's a woman lives in a $14 million mansion in Beverly Hills while she's a representative of Los Angeles while living in Beverly Hills, right? She's leaving the people of LA high and fucking dry, man. High and fucking dry. High and dry, man. High and dry. She pays her daughter $600,000 a year. $600,000 a year, man. That's like, dude, man. I mean, you think about, all that tax money that was wasted. You have parts of Detroit, it's a ghost town. You have parts of Missouri, it's a fucking ghost town, man. Okay, you know. Jobs have gone and went, leaving parts of Missouri, parts of Detroit, parts of your town, a ghost town. It's a fucking ghost town, folks. You know, it's a fucking ghost town. You know, and it's a fucking ghost town. It is a fucking ghost town. Okay, it's a ghost town. So, it is a fucking ghost town. It's a fucking ghost town. Parts of Chicago is a fucking ghost town. You know, Rahm Emanuel shut down what? 15, 20 schools and shit? What the fuck, folks? You know? Brendan Johnson, the current mayor of Chicago, he's fucking up bad, and people are finally like, no, they're pissed. They're pissed off. They are fucking livid, man. You know, and they want this motherfucker gone. They want this motherfucker gone. Straight up, they want this motherfucker gone. You know, the former mayor of Oakland, she's looking at years in prison. She's looking at years in prison, and the former mayor of San Francisco, she let when ICE was going in and raiding and going and deport people, the mayor of Frisco let people know in a newswire that ICE was coming. Because of that, she got ousted. She got ousted. Because during her term, people of San Francisco, there were people shitting in the streets. Actually taking a shit in the streets. Okay. We're a few blue states that completely lost reality. Completely lost reality, man, you know. Completely lost reality, man. Completely lost reality. And you know, it's just that when you realize that your tax dollars are being used for things you wouldn't expect, you know. See, back in the day, you did not need permission to collect rainwater or go fishing. Or do things that the founding fathers said, hey, you could do. It's part of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, man. But the Democrats, you know, here in California, and other ones, property tax. Property tax. If you don't pay your property tax, you lose your home. You lose your home, right? You own your home, but basically you're just renting your property you're living on. You know, you pay your property tax, and if you don't pay it, you lose your house to foreclosure. Really? Yeah. If we got rid of property tax, the reason there's property tax is because Democrats want more money from you to put in their pockets, share it with their Wall Street buddies, you know. See, that's why a lot of people right now are going, they're living the van life. They're living the van life, you know. They rather rent because no property tax. No property tax. Yeah. You know.
So I guess the people that study AI are completely shocked that Google would drop their pledge, that would get rid of their pledge not to use AI for warfare. They have no control over AI. Once they opened up the D-Wave quantum computer and started literally talking 24/7 with other entities in other dimensions that were giving them instructions and orders and recipes.
Anything invented, they want to regulate. If you invent anything, they want, like, if you invent something and it works, and if they cannot control it, they're going to regulate it. They're going to regulate the usage, and they're going to regulate a lot of things, right? The one thing I miss, and I'll be honest, analog, right? Analog. Complete analog. Yeah, analog. Because thing is, ever since the FCC said goodbye to analog, we're gonna get rid of analog. Like, we had a kid come over here last week. And he went door to door talking to people about the mandatory solar program. California's mandatory solar program, but he goes, ain't just state, it's federal. It's federal. No, it's not federal. It ain't federal. Okay, it's not federal. If it was federal, the whole country would have got that memo. No, it's state. California. California's pushing this shit. It ain't state. It ain't federal. It's state. It's state, not federal. State. It was SB something. It was state, not federal. And he said, I was reading it. I was reading a part that said, homeowners are mandatory to have solar and solar batteries in their home. Mandatory. Bullshit. You know, it's just another way of saying we're going to force this on your ass. Whether you like it or not, we're going to put it on your house. Guess again, pal. There's a lady a woman years ago, tried to stop a guy who worked for PG&E from putting a smart meter on her house because it's her house, right? She said, I don't want it. I do not want it on my house. I do not want it on my house. Do not want this piece of shit on my house. So he ended up calling the authorities on her because you know how they are. If they cannot get their way, they're gonna call Johnny Law on your ass, make up some story. So the sheriff came to her house. Came by law. You just cannot walk in someone's property, no matter who the fuck you are, sheriff or PD, no matter what, you know. But we have circumstance. No, you don't. You need a warrant. It's like, oh, we got probable cause. Bullshit. Get a warrant, asshole. So they arrested her. And they put the thing on her house. See, from Bakersfield all the way up to Reading. Right, all the way up to Reading. PG&E has a lot of leeway, has a lot of money, a lot of power. And I said to this kid, I go, this is probably, because I said to the kid, I go, look, PG&E has a lot of money and lobbyists who would kind of cozy up the people. I said, probably what you're doing is their thing. Because PG&E has a lot of money, and they have lobbyists. And I said, it ain't you. It's your company you work for, right? Because it ain't you. You're just doing what they're telling you to do. And he got scared. Like man, here I'm 49 years old. I pick up a few things here and there along the way, you know. And so I said to this kid, I go, look, again, ain't you. Just you are doing what they're telling you to do. You are a order follower. You don't question. You follow orders, you know, without question. That's a problem. So I called his boss. I'm like thinking. So I said, I'm not the owner. I'm the owner's son. I'm the family watchdog. You know, I'm the family guard dog here. You know, looking out for my folks. You know. So he talked to his boss and says, "Yeah, I'm talking to the boss. Yeah, sir. I'm talking to the home. I said I'm the homeowner's son." Well, he says all bullshit and all da 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 da. And I'm like, I said, dude, I'm thinking like mandatory. It's all in red, mandatory. I said, it's like saying the homeowner has the right of saying no. Well, I said, we never have. I said, so? They chose to have it. They chose to have solar at their home. Don't mean that we're going to get it. No. He said, well, it's not state, it's federal. I said, bullshit. If it was federal, every state would have got in line. No, it's only in California, you know. It's only in California. But they're trying to push this here in California, the solar thing, as they're doing the smart meter. I'm sorry, ain't gonna happen, bud. You know. Okay, AI here.
To cook things like AI up. The only thing that was going to happen is it's coming. It's coming, and we're already seeing it absolutely everywhere. It blows me away that these guys talk about AI. Well, they won't use it for warfare. They're presenting it to us like.
Think about this. Terminator, RoboCop, right? You think about the story in the movie RoboCop, right? Corporation takes over a town, right? Corporation takes over a town. Takes over a police force, right? Political corruption, corporate corruption. Okay. Watch the whole entire trilogy of RoboCop. Let it sink in. Let the very first movie sink in, right? Let the very first movie of RoboCop sink in, okay? You know, Terminator, The Matrix, okay? Think about that for a moment.
China's going to have a bunch of drones fighting a bunch of American drones, and then that will figure things out. That's not what it is whatsoever at all. All of this AI is being used to get rid of the 2 or 8 billion people on the earth, because we don't know how many people even live here whatsoever at all. I've never been counted. Have you? You know what I'm saying? That's all this is. That's all it's ever been. And like I said in the comment section, why do I have...
Depopulation under 500 million. Those were the words on the Georgia Guidestone, translated in multiple languages.
I have to tell you this. This is the 4th Industrial Revolution. Wake up, man. It's evil. AI will take us out. And I thought that was a pretty good explanation, because that's all it is. Every single person involved in AI, everybody has said that AI is completely and totally evil.
The ACM Turing Award is the highest distinction in computer science, comparable to the Nobel Prize. In 2018, it was awarded to 3 pioneers of the deep learning revolution: Geoffrey Hinton, Yoshua Bengio, and Yann LeCun. In May 2023, Geoffrey Hinton left Google so that he could speak openly about the dangers of advanced AI, agreeing that, quote, it could figure out how to kill humans, and saying, it's not clear to me that we can solve this problem. Later that month, Yoshua Bengio wrote a blog post titled How Rogue AIs May Arise, in which he defined a rogue AI as an autonomous AI system that could behave in ways that would be catastrophically harmful to a large fraction of humans, potentially endangering our societies and even our species or the biosphere. Yann LeCun continues to refer to those suggesting that we're facing severe and imminent risk as professional scaremongers, and says it's a simple fact that the people who are terrified of AGI are rarely the people who actually build AI models. LeCun is a highly accomplished researcher, but in light of Bengio and Hinton's recent comments, it's clear that he's misrepresenting the field, whether he realizes it or not. There is not a consensus among professional researchers that AI research is safe. Rather, there is considerable and growing concern that advanced AI could pose extreme risks. And this concern is shared by not only both of LeCun's
Skynet
award co-recipients, but the heads of all 3 leading AI labs, OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google DeepMind. Demis Hassabis, CEO of DeepMind, said in an interview with Time magazine, when it comes to very powerful technologies, and obviously AI is going to be one of the most powerful ever, we need to be careful. Not everybody is thinking about those things. It's like experimentalists, many of whom don't realize they're holding dangerous material. Anthropic, in their public statement, Core Views on AI Safety, says, one particularly important dimension of uncertainty is how difficult it will be to develop advanced AI systems that are broadly safe and pose little risk to humans. Developing such systems could lie anywhere on the spectrum from very easy to impossible. And OpenAI, in their blog post, Planning for AGI and Beyond, says, some people in the AI field think the risks of AGI and successor systems are fictitious. We would be delighted if they turn out to be right, but we're going to operate as if these risks are existential. Sam Altman, the current CEO of OpenAI, once said, development of superhuman machine intelligence is probably...
There's that kid, that 26-year-old kid, he blew the whistle on about OpenAI. And he was found dead. You know, like, dude.
The greatest threat to the continued existence of humanity. There are objections one could raise to the idea that advanced AI poses significant risk to humanity, but it's a fringe idea that actual AI experts do not take seriously is no longer among them. Instead, a growing share of experts are echoing the conclusion reached by Alan Turing, considered by many to be the father of computer science and artificial intelligence, back in 1951. It seems probable that once the machine thinking method had started, it would not take long to outstrip our feeble powers. At some stage, therefore, we should have to expect the machines to take control.
So there you go. The thing that Donald Trump is pumping all his money into, or I'm sorry,
all your money
into, or all whoever's money into, because if they're not giving $2 million to put Sesame Street in Iraq, or $600 million to this guy, that guy, and the other guy through a USAID or USAID, whatever it's called, they're putting that out there to calm people down. Like, look at all this government waste they're discovering. Are you watching your national debt? Still going up. Still going up. You know what I mean? It doesn't make any difference. Donald Trump, first thing he did was come in and pump $500 billion of the USA's money. Instead of dropping the national deficit when he came in, he jacked it up.
Yeah.
And the first thing he did was invest in the most dangerous thing on earth. AI is evil, and it's shown that. AI is alive, and it's shown that. And AI lies, and it's shown that.
Posted on Twitter, where it appeared that two R1s, while talking to each other, developed their own alien language, their own cipher, to be able to communicate to each other without anybody else knowing what they were talking about. Here's kind of what that language looked like. Here's the thing. Later, we find out this was already existing sort of a language that's available online, so very likely they just pulled it off the internet, where it's called alien language, and kind of here are the symbols used with a decryption. But there are tons of examples where, for example, R1 slips into Chinese in its chain of thought to think through something in Chinese before finally replying in English. I've actually seen where O3 Mini High randomly shifts into Spanish while thinking about how to build a reinforcement learning training pipeline for a Tetris playing AI. As you can see here, it's going in English, it switches over to Spanish, it just continues in Spanish. The final answer is in English, but kind of neat. Now, of course, so far, this makes sense. This is nothing new. If you speak multiple languages, they might be easier, more efficient ways of thinking through something or saying something in a different language. You might.
So there's a guy explaining to you how AI is talking to another AI, and they're just making up their own languages. And he's going, well, if you speak multiple languages, that's what you would do at any rate. But here's the deal. Computers don't speak in multiple languages. Computers speak in
Binary code.
No. I don't mean that code, that binary. Computers literally speak in this code. Ones and zeros, zeros and ones. That's it. That's completely and totally it. You know what I mean? They speak in this language, and instead, what they're doing is making up their own language, which is very, very similar to
equivalent to the hieroglyphics
ancient
in
Phoenician,
Egypt.
things of that language. Some people would call it the angel vocabulary, the angel, how angels speak or whatever. These guys are calling it the alien code. But do you see what I'm saying? Every single solitary time you turn around, they're pushing AI and then saying, we just need to regulate this. You can't regulate something you already lost control of. Do you see what I'm saying? So them telling you regulation, people are going, oh, they'll take care of it. They'll regulate it. Just like they regulated nuclear power plants that literally poisoned every single solitary spring, stream, river, and brook in the United States. When I was a kid, you could drink out of any stream in the United States as long as it wasn't obvious. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I have to go in 13,000 feet and still filter my water because of nuclear regulation. They just kept, the more dangerous the nuclear power plant spills were, the more they would just jack up the regulation. What's safe for humanity? What's safe for humanity? On Wi-Fi, 0.200. Not even a full percentage. 0.200 is safe. How many times have I turned on my tester and it said 961.200? You know what I'm saying? These guys have been doing this for time immemorial, and it blows me away how many of these AI apologists, will call them, because they keep saying it's so dangerous, but they'll fix it, they'll take care of it, they'll get this, that, the other thing. We're already seeing the robots offered to consumers. We're already seeing AI coming out of China, allegedly. I don't believe any of that, but that's the game they're playing, because we're at war with China. We need our plastic drones to take out their plastic drones so that we win. All of this is to take out humanity, period. They don't need to worry about if a soldier will pull a trigger or any of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And AI has literally been installed in all the military hardware. I told you this 10 years ago. 10 years ago. And we just literally saw AI take over a Black Hawk and smash into a fully loaded jet. This was 100% AI taking away the controls. That's why they put a woman, allegedly, with 500 hours behind the stick. You're going to have somebody with 500 flight hours flying a Black Hawk underneath airplanes that are landing at a civilian airport.
Any smart pilot would say 200 feet is 200 feet. But
No. And AI took it over. They bailed out. They got rescued. And then it all disappeared. All 4 people that were taken to the firehouse, it's been scrubbed from the internet. I can't find it to save my
It's
life.
been scrubbed.
I find it really odd that months ago they came out and said AI had reached God mode. And then they kind of reeled that back in because people got afraid because God, it sounds crazy. But I think it directly correlated into them being able to more effectively use the weather as a weapon. And I mentioned that before. Because I'm seeing these guys using the weather expertly to do so much.
About that, man, weather has been hitting the U.S. hard in the last few months. Few months. Huge. From October to now, the weather's been kind of like, what the fuck?
Incredible damage. Look at everything that's happened since Asheville happened in North Carolina. You see all these Dopplers lighting up, and they're not lighting up everywhere else. They're creating a corridor, which is forcing this storm to roll right through the center of it. Think that's just a coincidence? And then they zap it with lasers every once in a while to intensify.
It's heavily hitting the New England area, man. The weather's been hitting the New England area hard. Really fucking hard, man.
Buy it or turn it or whatever it exactly is they're doing, but I believe AI is running this thing now completely, and it's crazy. Here's something real quick. You see this? Look at that. That book has been through some stuff. Confusion in Christianity. I brought this up to Delilah's house, and her great parents got a hold of it for like 2 seconds. But I still carry it, and I read all 500 plus pages of this thing. It's not reinterpreting the Bible. It's explaining things that many people don't understand. And here's the deal. Thanks to me talking about it, I think, it's now available on Amazon again. So you can simply click on that or Confusion in the Cosmos and get it sent to your house quicker and a lot easier. So that's a score. You understand what the outer darkness is? It's in the Bible many times. But I never understood what it meant whatsoever until I read it through this. You know, it just literally like having somebody that's really well educated with the Bible explaining things to you that you just might gloss over because you just don't understand it. And that's all there is to it. But here's the deal. Enough about AI. Let me remind you about something I mentioned not too long ago. Remember when I told you that HAARP, High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, started up again January 25th, 2025. Well, Richie, you said HAARP doesn't control the weather. I don't think it does control the weather. I don't think it ever controlled the weather. HAARP is an earthquake machine. And they have been saying every time I look up, I'm looking at my mouse pointer if I'm going to pause the video. That's what I'm looking up for. I'm not being held hostage. At any rate, we've heard this over and over and over and over and over again about Oregon. There's a mile-long volcano that could erupt this year. Volcano could erupt this year.
Yeah.
11 days, 38 days, 3 days ago. That's the wrong thing. Volcano will erupt. Massive volcano is set to erupt in 2025. Mile deep volcano. Off the coast, off the coast, off the coast. It just goes on and on and on and on. These guys never predict anything. They never predict anything that actually...
When was the last time that Mount St. Helens erupted? Right? That's 44 years ago, folks.
People, they only predict things when they're getting ready to do something crazy. And I find it strange that all of a sudden, since 2014, HAARP has been sitting dormant. Maybe you do or maybe you don't know, but I pay attention to these things. HAARP hasn't been doing anything since 2014. Suddenly, January 25th, 2025, HAARP is lit up again. And then suddenly, wackily, crazily enough, right where the Super Bowl is located, Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, right where the location of the only sitting commander-in-chief ever to attend the Super Bowl is sitting. We just had a massive earthquake right here with tsunami warnings all over the Gulf of Mexico. I'm sorry, the Gulf of America. Fight, fight, fight. But at any rate, as soon as this thing goes online, we start having really hardcore, heavy-duty. A 7.6 earthquake is no joke. And let's take a look at what experts at the Weather Channel have to say. Let's start with just the numerology. I don't do this very often, but it's always there. It's not even, I mean, if you're still walking around talking about 33 and these different numbers, you're a rookie. 7.6 is 13, so that's queer. I find that strange. It struck at 6:23 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, roughly between the Cayman Islands and the Honduras. What a strange, odd thing. You know what I mean? What a strange, odd thing. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, you can't, how do you practice these things? If you want to do a pinpoint attack like they did in Japan when they did an earthquake, the dead nut center underneath their nuclear facility, you don't get...
There's a tsunami warning near Hawaii, man. They had activated their system. Hasn't been used in years, but when that tsunami warning, that was enacted, man.
You don't really get to practice too much. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that's what they're doing. So we'll see. We'll see. Because everything is lined up. And I'm talking everything. They're already getting the public ready for things like, well, not that. Well, yeah, you should be ready for that, but that's not what I'm talking about. This is odd. This is odd. Between Time Magazine and other magazine covers, this is where they tell you the truth in plain sight. And having Elon sitting right there is a strange, strange, strange thing. You know what I'm saying? They don't need Trump anymore. Elon's already doing all the heavy lifting. He's figuring it out. He's finding it out. They said that he sent 7 of his wizards, truth in plain sight, 7 of his wizards into the USAID, and they found out all these different things and blah, 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 money that was being wasted and spent. And it still is. Don't get it twisted. Not one single solitary thing has changed. If Trump was for the people, as soon as he got in, I'm dropping gas prices. Fight, fight, fight. I'm dropping grocery prices. Fight, fight, fight. We're building a new electrical grid because we are wholly inadequate. I don't even know how many times I've shown you DHS and DOD warnings about our electrical grid. I mean, it's been constant over the years how bad our electrical grid is. And they're so concerned that they think white nationalists might attack our power grid. Because you know how those white nationalists are. Those guys are just absolutely everywhere. They're just white and they're nationalists. That's 2 different things.
Someone here said, quoted here, this was 6 hours ago. Every cult leader says, you have been reading the Bible wrong. I have the answers. Nobody told you. It's Gnosticism. Yeah.
Yes, man. So we better quickly pass some anti-Semitic laws and start throwing people out of the country that believe Israel is completely and utterly destroying the Palestinian people. But you know what? That's all going to come to an end because Trump's going to do it now. He's going.
Yeah, it's envily anyway. All right, folks. I am Reverend Ordo, and this has been the Anonymous Manawati Sec. If you're new to this channel, please leave a like, subscribe, comment below. Hit the bell for notification. Always live healthy, happy, wise. I love you guys. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out. Godspeed. Buddha bless.